My 27 male parents are in a polycule relationship with a man. I've always been mildly uncomfortable with it, just due to various features about the whole thing. For starters, the man is as young as I am, and he basically now lives in my former room growing up. I don't say anything about it as it's their life, and they can live it as they like. But I'll be frank here, all of it discomforts me. Nevertheless, I have my own life, and I still love them, and I try not to think of that in any capacity. They're happy, and that's good for them. With that background out of the way, I'm getting married soon, and I wanted my parents to be there. They were happy for me, and it was great. Then my SO, 28, and I got to arranging everything for the wedding, and we eventually began arranging the seating. I wanted to run my seating plan by my parents, as they know some people better. So I emailed it to them and asked them to look it over. They looked it over and then called me to say that I had missed a seat for Dave, 27, a fake name for their significant other. I told them I didn't think Dave would be coming. They said they'd all be coming, and I said I wasn't sure if that was a good idea. I tried to tiptoe to tell them not to bring Dave, but they were insistent. So I was frank with them. I told them I was uncomfortable with Dave coming and wanted to share my special day with them, not Dave. I tried to explain why I didn't think it was appropriate. At this point, things took a turn for the worse. We had a back and forth, which devolved into a fight. Eventually, they said they'd much rather not come if they couldn't come as a couple. I, in a moment of anger, then said, "Great, then don't come," in a passive-aggressive tone. I haven't talked to my parents since then. In a way, I feel like they've changed so much from when I was young. I still love them and wanted them to come, but this is just not how I imagined my wedding going. It's their life to live, but this is my wedding. It's supposed to be about me and my SO, surrounded by people we cherish. Dave and I have no relationship. He's a stranger to me, and respectfully, I genuinely am completely fine with that. I want them to come, but if they're going to bring Dave, I'd much rather they don't. I love them, but I don't want Dave there. So, am I the idiot? Edit. We're not doing a +1 system. The wedding is only for the people we love and cherish, and their families that we love and cherish. It's a 53-person wedding, so it isn't huge. Not the idiot. It's pretty despicable of your parents to behave this way. And honestly, I would be extremely uncomfortable if they were sleeping with someone my age, living in my childhood room. That's a level of creepy I'd never get over. Agreed. I can't believe how selfish his parents are. They understand that this makes OP uncomfortable, but they want to have Dave at the wedding anyway. Do what you want on your own time, but don't upset your child on his wedding day. They can suck it up for one day, but won't. His parents have effectively chosen this man over their own son. I'm so sad for him. I'd say the same thing if this was just mom's new boyfriend too, before anyone gets offended. If the son doesn't want the new guy at his wedding, don't bring the new guy to the wedding. How hard is that? They strike me as the type of parents who think they're amazingly hip, cool, and trendy, and think everyone wishes they could be like them. So they flaunt their lifestyle choices and tell everyone in detail about what goes on. They're incredibly self-absorbed narcissists who fancy themselves as the head of their own imaginary fan club. They would totally spend as much of the wedding promoting their lifestyle to anyone and everyone who's too polite to tell them to screw off. I actually think this is far more complicated than people might first think. If we are really accepting of people for who they are, should that not extend to this if they're in love and happy? You are the idiot, OP. I get that it's a weird scenario for you, but "I'm not comfortable" is also what people say about the same gender partner, a different race, a different religion, etc., etc. This is someone who's viewed and treated as a partner in their life together. He's important to them, and if they're important to you, you're going to have to learn to live with that. You can invite whoever you want to your wedding, but I also think you should grow up and accept that they're poly. Me and my ex divorced when our sons were preschooler and pre-tween. We had our moments, but actually became terrific friends after we divorced. We'd even spend time together without our kids. We've both remarried, and our spouses get along fine. In fact, my ex and her husband asked me to assist with their having a kid because he couldn't. They have a son who's a preschooler. He's biologically mine, but was happily raised by my ex and her husband. My wife is pregnant, and my ex will be in the delivery room with us when she gives birth next month. My tween is happy we all get along, but my older child is starting to have issues with it. He's always complaining about us hanging out and being over each other's homes. I asked him what was wrong with it, and he said it was just weird and to stop. I told him my relationship with his mom was none of his business. We'd be friends even if he didn't exist, so deal with it. My ex thinks I should apologize, but I'm not apologizing to a brat, dictating who I can or can't be friends with. Edit. I haven't been with my ex since we were married, and my donation was made in a clinic, and no one but me, my wife, my ex, and her husband know about it. I have zero attraction to my ex. We're all comfortable with each other because we've been friends since high school and have an unbreakable bond. You are the idiot. Your son is identifying that your situation is unconventional and he's not adjusting well. But he's a young teen and doesn't know how to properly voice what he's feeling. There's a way to validate his feelings and still tell him it isn't his place to comment without being an idiot to your kid. But your ego won't see past supposedly being dictated to by a child who can't adequately express themselves. Don't be surprised when he doesn't respect you as an adult and may not even want to see you if you keep this "I'm not apologizing to a brat" mentality up. Oh man, you're successfully navigating a healthy relationship between you and your ex, and it's so sad to see that you fail spectacularly with your own kid. The dude feels awkward about it, and instead of helping him work through those feelings, you got defensive and acted immaturely. You have so many kids, but don't act like a father figure. I wonder if OP and his ex are swingers or are having a polycule relationship and the kid finally picked up on it, or someone at school probably said something. Not gonna lie, being a sperm donor for your ex, who you co-parent with, is weird, in my opinion. Your kid's half-brother is actually their full brother, but with legally different parents. I'm an adult just hearing about this, and it's difficult for me to fathom. I can't imagine how a young teen and a tween would feel. Their whole relationship is strange. I wouldn't be bringing my friends around my parents, that's for sure. I can't fathom how step-parents are okay with all of this, especially the wife letting him father a child and handing it over. I'm betting that the kid's friends' parents are questioning their relationships too. And if friends' parents are talking about it, the kid or his friends likely have heard the talk. I'm not surprised the kid asked them to stop the relationship. My wife is currently battling cancer, and one of the things she's told me she's struggling with the most was losing her hair. She's been given a near 100% chance of survival since we caught it early, but the chemotherapy has destroyed her hair anyway, and she's had to shave what was left off a few weeks ago. Not long after that, she suggested we attempt to get our nearly adult daughter, Anna, to do so as well. Anna has very long hair that she puts a lot of care into, so it was appropriate to ask her in private if she wanted to or would be willing to do such a thing. She told me she didn't want to cut her hair, and I figured that was the end of it. However, they came home from a girls' shopping trip, which they occasionally do, and Anna had a buzzed haircut. That struck me as odd after what she said. So after dinner, I talked to her, and she told me that my wife had said she would never forgive Anna if she didn't show her support by buzzing her head. I asked her if she was happy about it, and she said she wasn't. When I went to bed, I brought it up with my wife, and she said it was Anna's choice to or not. I just told her how I'd see the situation. I told her off, saying she needed to respect Anna's personal choices and that a nearly adult girl against shaving her head wasn't exactly out of the ordinary. However, my wife said it was to show support for her. I've been sleeping on the couch ever since. I love my wife, and I understand she's going through something traumatic. However, her attitude comes off as very manipulative to me, and that's not behavior I feel I can personally accept. I'm unsure if I can move past this to continue the relationship. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your wife is a flaming idiot. I'm sorry that she has cancer, but what she did to your daughter was very abusive. If she cannot deal mentally with her disease and treatment, then she needs professional help, not to manipulate and coerce your daughter into making a choice she didn't want to make. Make no mistake, she abused your daughter. Honestly, cancer or no cancer, if I were in your shoes, I would seriously be considering divorce, if only to get your daughter to safety. Your wife wanted to use your daughter as a prop for her cancer. She knows she will survive, but she wants the attention she'll get from it. Forcing your daughter to sacrifice something that's probably very memorable about her so people can gush about it is her way of getting more attention. It's unbelievably toxic what she's done. The manipulation is honestly shocking. The power behind showing support through shaving your head for a cancer patient is that it's unasked and voluntary. Just asking or demanding someone shave their head because you have cancer is wild. I think it's actually just pure jealousy. Mom lost her hair and hated that your daughter still had hers. So many mothers are their kids' first bullies. She was jealous of her younger, beautiful daughter with a head full of hair and wanted her to feel unattractive. I cannot imagine the daughter's shock and disappointment when mother-daughter's day out suddenly morphed into dramatically alter your appearance or else you don't love me. 2 choices. Pick now. Shaving your head does nothing for a person fighting cancer. It doesn't make chemo and its side effects any easier. It doesn't make radiation and its side effects any easier. It doesn't make surgery and its side effects any easier. It only appeals to the victim's vanity. If I have to be bald, no one around me should have hair. That's rude, cruel, self-centered, and extremely entitled, and very, very wrong. Tell your wife to grovel to your daughter for forgiveness and buy her as realistic of a wig as she can, ASAP. Otherwise, in 1 short year, she'll lose her daughter forever and lose you right now. I say this with much hesitation, but my sister-in-law, her husband, and their child are all severely obese. Both sister-in-law and her husband are over 300 pounds, and their daughter, tween, is easily pushing 200. The type of people to buy a smoker and giant chest freezer for $3,000, but fail to pay their mortgage or land tax and ask the family to help them out. And when they're called out on it, it's met with a making sure my family is fed is my top priority. Not saying it shouldn't be a priority, but when you're feeding 3 people enough food for 10 people a day, it's absolutely an issue. Last year, we extended the invite to them twice, and both times they ate food so quickly that many people didn't even know there was food available. I vividly remember them putting 3 hamburgers, 4 hot dogs, and darn near a half a container of pasta salad on their plates, and still going up for seconds and thirds. I wish I were kidding, but I'm not. The next time around, I bought more food. They ended up taking all the leftovers without even asking and without anyone's knowledge until after my kids wanted more food and everything was taken, dish and all. And they had been the only ones who left. So this year, I didn't invite them. I can't afford to feed them. And quite frankly, I don't want to feed them. I don't want to have a beach day and have to run to the store midway through to get my kids something to eat when I know I packed and cooked plenty of food to last a day. So I invited everyone but them. The day went great. We weren't hungry after for once. Sister-in-law caught wind, which I expected, and she immediately asked, "We would have liked a family meal too." So I simply said, "I can't afford to feed you." She asked what I meant, and I explained as nicely as possible. Now I'm being called every name in the book for fat shaming and embarrassing her. Not the idiot. Explain to them that there's a difference between fat shaming and greed shaming. They could eat a respectful amount with the family, then go home and eat 6 more dinners on their dime. No one would shame them. The fact that they choose to exploit the family and make others go hungry is what's unacceptable. Greed shaming is the perfect way to phrase this. If they weren't so greedy and weren't taking food out of people's mouths, that would be a different story. Who the heck takes food or leftovers when people are still at a party and still planning on eating? That is so weird. I'm going to go to Thanksgiving and just walk out with the turkey. Why not? Land tax can wait. LMAO, gotta feed the fridge. And her first reaction was that she would have liked a family meal. Her response really says it all. They also wanted a free meal. They didn't go to see people, catch up, and have fun. They came to eat, and you're the food ATM. Being together solely to eat is a type of party too, but then you pull your weight, no pun intended, by either paying your part or bringing it. Tell her they're welcome to bring their own food next time and that you want your plates back. My sister is 2 years younger than me. Growing up, she'd always come to me for help with things our parents wanted her to do alone or for money because I had money young from helping out with my best friend's grandparents, who always threw us $5 or $10 for doing stuff for them. But my sister was a very popular kid and had a bunch of friends who were popular, and I was not, so she never liked being seen with me. When we got older, it was worse because she'd ask to borrow money or she'd ask me to drive her home from school. But if I dared approach her around her friends, she'd get so mad and say it was embarrassing to be seen with me. She and her friends used to make fun of my best friend and me too because he's a guy, and they'd say we were secretly dating or he was secretly gay. She'd throw out some wild crap just to fit in. It annoyed me because she'd always want something when none of her friends were around. I'd say we weren't at all close at that time, despite me giving in normally, because I did love her, but she was crappy to me and to my friend. As adults now who are 26 and 28, our relationship got better eventually, and she improved a lot as a person. She apologized to me and my best friend for going along and spreading more rumors about us. She even asked me to be her maid of honor, which shocked me because I didn't ask her to be mine. I thought we were finally starting to be close as sisters, but she started treating me like crap again. She wanted me to change my hair completely. My hair is pink and all textured. Then she wanted me to cover up my 2 tattoos, one of which represents my kids, and told me that I looked like a biker and not a bridesmaid. When we went dress shopping, she'd always have something negative to say about the dresses they had me try, while she was crazy about her friends' dresses. After a few months, she told me she felt like I'd be too distracting on her wedding day, and would I mind being a regular guest and not a bridesmaid. Something clicked for me then, and I told her not to worry about me being a distraction, because not only would I step down as her maid of honor, but I'll keep myself away from her wedding and do her the kindness of not being there when she's clearly still embarrassed by me like she was as a kid. She freaked out and said she never said she didn't want me to be there. She told me I'm her sister and I should be there. My parents and SO were so disappointed when they learned what happened, but said that they understood my decision, and it was probably for the best overall. My sister's fiance accused me of holding the past against her and overreacting to what she wanted for her wedding day, and I should do better. My sister cried on the phone, asking me why I was being mean to her. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your sister is the idiot. She never changed. At heart, she's still the popular girl who cares about what everyone thinks and wants all the attention for herself. Apologies don't mean anything if the behavior continues, and here she is, shaming you for your appearance. Screw that. Of course she wants you there. She just wants all the attention on her, yours included. If you're not there, people will ask why you're not there. That's probably worse in her selfish mind than you having pink hair and tattoos. Honestly, because the truth reveals that she's an idiot. You don't owe her anything just because you both came out of the same uterus. You are not the idiot for stepping down and not attending. I'd also block her and her fiancé's phone. They're mad that they can't use and abuse you over wedding duties, and her friends will note your absence, causing embarrassment. I'm actually proud of you for taking care of yourself. Good on the parents for not trying to force you. It's refreshing to hear that, OP. Often, parents are always siding with the perpetrators.